All right. We are now in here. We're about to get into it. Welcome. My name is Brian, aka Uncle B, and this is GoodWood University office hours where, fellas, we can get together and we can talk about the things that you need to know to get your sexual performance on, get it good and popping and all that good stuff. If you could go ahead and go into the comment section, let me know where you from, where you representing. And so we can go ahead and get into it because today, we talking about that sweet and low. That sugar, that stuff that it's in everything and it's messing up your erections. And this is really important because a lot of times I'm talking to guys, they're like, "Oh, things were going good, and then this time I was good, and this time I wasn't good." And the first question I always ask is, "What did you eat?" Uh, because if you are right before you're having sex, if you're going to be eating something, it's going to have an effect. It's either going to have a good effect or a bad effect. Like I was just telling somebody, uh, basically, you're a chemical bag. You're a chemical bag that you add other chemicals to it, and it's going to be a reaction. We all know this. Give a little chemical bag. Let's say a child. Give that little child some coffee. What happens? Going off the rails. Hey, give them some sugar. It's going off the rails. Same thing happens to you. You know, Fortunately, you get to a point in life where the sugar doesn't have that direct effect the way that we think it does. We're not jumping off the roof like kids. However, it's going to give you a problem. And we're going to talk about today because sugar is a culprit for unreliable erections, and we have to address that. We're going to talk about how to avoid that and what things to look for because they're sneaking in sugar everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. So we're going to talk about why the manufacturers are doing that, and we're going to talk about some practical ways to avoid uh, getting that sugar into your system. And of course, for those guys who are just hopping on, go ahead and hit me up in the chat section. Let me know where you are from. This is Brian, aka Uncle B. This is GoodWood University office hours. You got your questions, comments, hit me up. Let's go. So let's go ahead and break down some things about sugar that you need to know. And that is Americans get about a good 22 teaspoons worth of sugar, 22 teaspoons worth of sugar a day. And put that in contrast, Japanese, 4. They don't have the diabetes issues and weight issues we have here. So it lets you know what's going on. Oh, what's going on, Mr. Das? India is in the house. All right. We're also talking about, the World Health Organization. They say you should only get 6 grams of sugar. So there you go with that. I mean, because what is the issue with the sugar? Well, it's going to lead to some metabolic syndromes, some issues that you're not going to be good with. High blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, all that good stuff. And so one of the main things that we're talking about right now is testosterone. And it'll lower your testosterone. Typically for a half an hour, if you're already healthy, if you have some issues, it could take your testosterone out, meaning your erections out for half an hour or more. So you have to really be careful with this, especially when we're talking about the refined sugar. That's basically sugar with no fiber. That's one of the big problems with sugar. It's the difference between fruit and the straight sugar the cane sugar that we get. When you're eating fruit, you're still getting the fiber in there. Not as dense as it should be, but you're getting the fiber in there. And when we're talking about sugar, there is really no difference when we're talking about the difference between, let's say, for um, honey. Honey has more nutrients. It's denser with its nutrients. And when we talk about something like this, confused me when I was a kid. Back in the day, brown sugar. I thought brown sugar was healthy for you for whatever reason. Nope, that's just sugar and molasses. I'm not even sure who came up with that idea that was a good idea, but they I was putting that on stuff and like, yes, I can't figure out why I'm a fat kid. Yeah, yeah. There you go. So yeah, the sugar in fruits is going to come with more nutrients. And so that's what you want to get into your system. Now let's go ahead and break down even further. Let's talk about the sugary drinks because that's going to catch you. That catches a lot of guys. Pay attention to this. Ginger beer, 20 teaspoons of sugar. 20 one ginger beer. Those clear flavored waters and everything like that, 18 teaspoons. When we're talking about sparkling water, you got that flavored sparkling water, 13 teaspoons. Sports drinks, Gatorade, yeah, they got the sugar and the salt up in that camp. Yeah, 15 teaspoons. And when it comes to orange juice, 18. So even in the things that we think are healthy for you, oh, first thing in the morning, got to get my OJ. Yeah, OJ. And what does that do? First thing in the morning, while your testosterone is going up, right before you consume anything, the first thing you do is take that orange juice and slam it down. We all grew up thinking that, oh, this is good for you. Nah, problems, player. You got problems. Let's talk about 75% of processed foods have sugar. The things you wouldn't even expect. We're talking about ketchup. You can taste it in there. Bread, spaghetti. Why is it in spaghetti? I'm not sure. Even the healthy cereal, we're typically you have to look at the boxes. This is really what it comes down to. You have to look at the boxes. If you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm just going to eat this, I'm going to eat that, and it's going to no, 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 no. They're doing it for a particular reason. We're going to talk about that in a second. But really, it starts with sugar. It gives you that little edge right there. That you get wired, you get all this energy, and our bodies look for sugar. It's because naturally, because it's nutrient dense, we get the sugar, and what's going on with it? Like, oh yes, our body's like, well, you got some energy. We ain't have to do too much to get that energy. Go get some more. That's why sugar is so addictive. And they're playing sugar games with your life, sir. Yes, they playing with you over there. They talking about that packaged food, that recommended daily allowance. They don't have sugar on it. They don't really want you to know how much sugar is in stuff. Yeah, so you have to be very careful. Here's a rule of thumb: if it tastes sweet, it has sugar in it. Whether or not they want to put it in the sucralose or the something something or the something something, yeah, it's still sugar. You look on the side; they've learned how to disguise the name of sugar very well. Let me give some shout outs to people right quick. Frederick, what's going on? Cleveland, Ohio is in the house. Jamaica, Fortress Saguna. Nice name, man. Tim, type 2 diabetes, trying to cut back on the sugar. South Carolina in the house. My man caught it right here. Tim Dinkins, Mr. Dinkins said, I thought honey bunches of oats and Special K was supposed to be healthy. I thought that too, man. I was doing that for years. um, yeah. And Mr. Daz asks, is honey healthy with oats? Yeah, in moderation. In moderation. Honey still has that nutrient density. It has some good qualities to it. But if you're overdoing it, you're overdoing it. That's all there is to it. What's going on with Mike? What's going on with you, Mike? Trinidad is in the house. What's going on, Terrence? Mm-hmm. Chicago in here. What's going on with you, Harold? All right. So let's get back into it. All right. So as I mentioned before, sugar lowers your testosterone, and we now have the lowest levels of testosterone in history. And let me just give you let me see, did I cover that in this particular one? No. Let me just give you a quick history of sugar because it's new. Is sugar in human history is only about a good 1,500 years old. So, in comparison, if you took a clock and you just took an hour of a clock, sugar has been in humans' existence for the past zero point 0.5 seconds. So this is all relatively new. When we get that sugar into our system, that's the reason why we're jacked and everything like that. Our bodies were looking for it way back in the day when it wasn't in the grocery store, when it wasn't being delivered to you at your house. So now it's just too easy for us to get, and it's causing damage. It can cause liver damage. We're talking about the number of kids who have type 2 diabetes is now at 25%. Type 2 diabetes used to be an illness of the rich, is now the illness of children. And we'll talk about type 2 diabetes in a second. We got a type 1 diabetic in here also. What's going on with you, Mr. Turner? Uh-huh. Yeah, there we go. Terrence says, I use dates as sweetener. Yeah, yeah. I would much prefer you doing that than the refined sugar, fiberless sugar. Uh-huh. And also just remember that fast food is basically fiberless. When we're talking about food, they're actually engineering the food to make it as easy as possible to swallow so they can sell you more food. Because if you swallow it really quickly, you don't get the mixture, the saliva in there, and all the good stuff that's supposed to happen. You end up eating food faster, and you want more, and they'll sell you more. So you have to be careful with that. All right. So let's talk about some ways to cut back on that sugar because uh-huh, like my man Tim right here, trying to cut back on the sugar. So Tim, we're going to talk about some things you could do. The first thing, of course, is to just be aware. I'm quite sure you're aware, but when I say be aware, be hyper aware whenever you're going grocery shopping. And when we're talking about the good food, there's only one aisle of good food. That's the fruits and the vegetables. Everything else suspect. If it's in a box, it's definitely suspect because it's designed to last for a long period of time. And oh, by the way, just like salt, sugar is a preservative. That's the reason why they put more sugar in there. It'll stay longer. Then they can, keep it on the shelves longer and sell more of it to you. One great thing to do is get sexy in the kitchen. That's where most of the time you're getting your food from, so you need to pay attention to not only what you're bringing into your house, but also when you're preparing it you have more control. And don't tempt yourself by bringing things into the house that you shouldn't have, like honey bunches of oats. So yeah. Even the cereals, and be careful with this because I went through that process too. Even the cereals you don't think have a lot of sugar in it, it has sugar in it. So you have to read that carefully. What's going on with you, DBX79? What's going on? Mr. Goins in the house. Uh-huh. How about green tea with no sugar? Perfecto. I had that this morning. Yeah. I never put sugar in anything that I drink. Try to avoid that at all costs. Just because it's in everything else. I think I was just reading somewhere it's like they put sugar into potato chips. Uh, Sweet and salty, perfect combination. Milk, sweet and salty, perfect combination to get you addicted. And so of course you want to read the labels when it comes to we talked about the teaspoons and how orange juice has 18 teaspoons. 4 grams is equal to a teaspoon. So when you're reading that label, make sure you understand that. So one slice of bread has 2 grams of sugar. Okay. Uh, that's regular bread. That's not talking about the fast food bread where they're gonna have some the ketchup is sugary. You want some sugar in the mustard. I don't even know how you do that one. Then the bun has sugar in it, and anything else they can put sugar in, they're gonna put it in there. Um, so when we talk about 24 grams of sugar, that's 6 teaspoons. So yeah. You're trying to get to 6 teaspoons a day. That's it. That's your limit. If you're already having erection issues, health issues, the sugar is not going to help. And a lot of times people talk about how long it takes to get out of that addiction to sugar. Some people say it takes 10 days. So, and really, this is a thing to understand about your body. Your body can be programmed. You can program your body every day, and you should. And the way you program it, first of all, is being very hyper aware of what you eat first thing in the morning. If you're brushing your teeth with sugar paste, we talked about that before. Not sure why they give you sugar paste for your teeth, but if you're brushing your teeth with one of the things that's going to happen is your body's going to say, "Hey, your body." Well, let's talk about your body. It's two different ways. Your gut is your first brain, second brain, depends on how you look at it. But your gut doesn't understand what your brain understands. It doesn't see anything. It just knows what's in there and what needs to happen in there. So if the first thing that goes into your mouth is sugary, your gut is sitting there thinking, well, okay, that's what's around us today. And I don't know any different, whether or not that's good for me or bad for me. Don't care. All I know is I'm sending a signal back up to the brain for more sugar. So if you're eating sugar first thing in the morning, and then sometimes you get a donut, you eat the cereal, you get the milk, all of these things have sugar in it, and that's the reason why later on the day it's like, I know I'm not supposed to drink that soda, but this time it's going to be okay, just like the last 4,000 times. That's because you got programmed with that sugar. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tim says, I'm learning that sugar mess with your blood pressure just as much as salt. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh no. Oh no. I got about 3 boxes of honey bunches of oats. Oh no. Oh no. All right. Mr. Das, best diet for testosterone. We'll talk about that in a hot second. One of the best diets for testosterone is not to eat a whole bunch of sugar. So you do have to, of course, cut out all the sodas, the sports drinks, the fruit juices. Uh, the fruit juices is something that caught me. I've talked about the orange juice, the grapefruit juice is like it's grapefruit juice. It's tart. All those different juices are sweetened. Um, and if you're going to be eating, snacks or something like that, just go ahead and get a bowl and put some fruits, bananas, whatever fruit that you like. Just put that there and have that as a backup plan. Um, because sometimes you just get little hungry, and adding sugar will actually make you hungrier. Uh, so just to wrap it all up, so we can get into some of these questions. And for the people who are just getting in here, my name is Brian, aka Uncle B. This is GoodWood University office hours. You can go into the comment section and ask some questions about your sexual health, testosterone, erections, masturbation, blah 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 blah. We're gonna answer it. That's what we do. All right. So just to wrap this all up, just remember, guys, sugar is going to cause you to have problems. Already having unreliable erections, adding sugar to the situation is not a good look at all. Sugar is in 75% of packaged foods. So avoid the packaged foods. Sugary drinks are the worst. And let me just break that down really quick. The reason why they're the worst is because, once again, your body can deal with sugar when it has fiber. Your body works best off of plant fiber. So if you don't have any fiber and you have sugar going in, you're jacking up your insulin, your glucose. Your body, your liver is now having to deal with a whole lot more. You're setting yourself up for even more problems with diabetes, metabolic rate, all of those different things. So be extra careful with the sugary drinks. This includes alcohol flavored sugar drinks, rum and coke. Yeah, that too. Uh, Remember, you only try to get 6 grams of sugar a day, and the best way to do that is to get sexy in the kitchen, cook your own food. Just get used to that. Just get used to that. And you want to eat fruits for snacks. That's the best way to go. So there we go. So just a couple quick notes. Once again, if you just joined us, go ahead and let us know in the comment section where you're from. If you have any questions, hit me up there. If you are looking to improve your supplementation game, we do have. This is all sponsored by GoodWood. Oh, yeah, man. GoodWood University, and of course we do have. If you go to givegoodwood.com, you can find supplements there. You can find more videos. You can find anything else. And also, if you could, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you have not subscribed already. All right, let's get into these questions. J10H, what's going on with you? All right, I'm gonna answer you in a second, but let me go ahead and get to Mr. Das here. So, best diet for testosterone. The best diet for testosterone is basically going to be plant based. And seeing as you're from India, the plants that I would recommend here are going to be different from over there. There are herbs that's specific to testosterone, so that's the reason why I talk about the supplementation game. That's really important because you have to understand, in terms of what we're getting in our grocery stores and things like that, that is all the nutrients aren't the same anymore because of the way to grow the food, growing it to, last long, not to, but when it comes to herbs, it's different because you can grow the herbs, and it doesn't require the same thing as a farm crop does. And so when you're getting, different herbs, they get into your system. It's just like food. I mean, it's a food supplement. So you will actually get all the things that you need out of that. So, all right. What's going on with you, Mr. Anderson, Virginia, in the house? But yeah, Mr. Das, you do want to start in that direction. There are, as I mentioned before, several herbs that can help you with your testosterone. When you're eating meat, and I'm going to be talking about the carnivore diet tomorrow. When you're eating meat, that's actually causing inflammation and other problems to your health as well as your erections. All right, J10H, good to see you again, sir. Hey, Unc, if we crave sugar after cutting it out, how long until it becomes easier to fight cravings? Also, natural fruits a better alternative. Definitely, the fruits are a better alternative. It has that fiber that's going to allow the food to break down, and it balances your blood sugar. Whereas as long how long it takes, typically they say 10 days to get rid of that sugar craving. But everyone's an individual. So but I would say this, you know, after you do it for a while, I mean, I was lucky. Lucky and unlucky. My pops back in the day, he would make Kool-Aid. You know, you make Kool-Aid, you need a cup of sugar to put in the Kool-Aid. He would put like a half a cup of sugar. So I grew up not knowing the full effect of sugar. I mean, believe me, I was sneaking out, going to get, going to the Snickers store, and not Snickers store, the store to get Snickers. Yeah. And what would happen there? I would come back home, and my father like, all right, let me smell your breath. I was like, you don't trust me? Like, no, no, trust a kid with sugar? No, no. So, but yeah, I'm now to a point where it's like sugar it doesn't call me every once in a while. I'm like, I want to get a brownie. I mean, that's my little escape right there. A brownie, randomly, maybe some ice cream, but I'm not a dessert person at all. So you can get to that point where it's not an issue. It may take a little bit longer than those 10 days because it's not just the sugar craving, it's also the indicators. So around June, horrible time for me because oh my goodness, you got Mother's Day, then it's my father's birthday, then it's my birthday, then Father's Day, my sister's birthday, and a bunch of graduations. There's always a minimum of 5 different occasions for some bad eating. So, that can be an issue. Uh-huh. Mhm. Mr. Robinson says, "Those drinks gave me diabetes and ED." Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to be very careful with that. All right. Uh-huh. So, yeah, let's talk about, the drinks really quick because that's something that, unfortunately is sort of pushed in our society, especially here in America, in terms of, yeah, what are you going to do today? Drink. What are you going to do this evening? Drink. Man, I just got a job. Want to get a drink? I just lost my job. Want to get a drink? Yeah. So, when it comes to alcohol, alcohol is a poison that happen to make you feel woozy. But if you're adding sugar to the alcohol, and typically, especially the dark alcohol, typically is caramel flavoring in there. So you have, you know, uh, sugar already there, and then you add your rum, you add your Coke to that rum. You just got yourself a sugar battle, sugar and poison battle going on in your body. That is not going to bode well for an erection at all. Uh huh. All right. So, how about a regular salad? Yeah, yeah, salads. Go for it. I literally had, oh man, I forgot to add the avocado. I had the spinach and avocado salad that I talked about before, but I forgot to put the avocado in it. But it was good. It was good. Get myself a little wrap, and I just enjoy doing a wrap with it. But yeah, having a salad, I often recommend to guys who are having issues with their weight and things like that. Adding a salad, eating a salad first will actually make it easier for you to you're getting nutrition into your body first, and then you eat whatever you're going to eat before, and then your body will eventually get used to the fact that you have the nutrition in your body, and it doesn't need to keep going back to the same uh not good food. Yeah, yeah, there we go. So all of that's really important, guys. This is the thing. When it comes to, and I had a conversation with a client the other day about this. When it comes to your sexual health, we have been set up for failure. If you go into a grocery store, if you go into a 7-Eleven, wherever you're going, you see basically three ingredients: corn. Actually, let me just say the four ingredients: corn, soy, sugar, salt. That's going to be in daggone near everything. So if you want to make sure you don't have these problems on an ongoing basis, understand you have to remove yourself from it. I get the level of difficulty that may be there because of it's everyone is doing it. Everybody's you just go out, you just walk down the aisle, there's a cake right there, and there's this and that. It's all around us. I get it, but it's on you. Unfortunate the fortunate thing is that you have access, like, you have a whole bunch of different supplements that would have been just 20 years ago almost impossible to get to. Some of the things we talk about, Juan Paro Macho, which is the Viagra of Peru. I'm sorry, Peruvian. Viagra of Peru. Um, with them, they actually, that's relatively new to most people. They don't know about that at all. Same thing with ashwagandha, maca. All of these things are relatively new to most people because we just didn't have access to the internet, or the channels to get to these different herbs. So we have access to all of that, but we have a lot of crap in the meantime that we have to get cleared out. So make sure you're going through the process of understanding what you need to get cleared out. So, mhm. Just checking over here. Did I miss any questions? All right. Uh, all right. Frederick, great question. What's going on with you, Mr. Crisp? Why is soy in so many products? The reason for that is because it's cheap and it doesn't taste like anything. Uh, it's sort of like corn. It's almost to a point where it's just a filler. So what you're really just tasting, let's take for example, I don't know, the most artificial thing on the planet, Twinkies. It's like, what is it made out of? What is that goop? We got goop in the middle, surrounded by a cake of goop. Um, we don't know. There's no need to know because all you're there for is just the sugar and has a slight bit of salt in there, just to get you hooked. But yeah, it's that's the reason for going back to whole foods, things that's like, hey, there was a plant, and then this came off the plant, and I'm gonna eat that. The reason why we need to go back to that is because the stuff that they're making now is is filler. Is mainly filler with sugar on top. Think about it in terms of like ketchup. It's tomato. Is it where's the tomato in there? Look at the can, look at the side of the can, or look at the bottle. How much tomato is in ketchup? Um, and just read something about ketchup. It was something different. But yeah, that's the thing you have to be aware about. There are some movies that you can watch. What the Health is pretty great. What's the other one? Game Changers. And there's also Corn King. And is it Corn King? It's on Netflix. They were talking about corn, basically how corn is in everything. So, I didn't get that until I was driving across the country, heading to Chicago from Washington, D.C., and was just driving past and just saw just acres of corn. It was just corn everywhere for miles. I'm like, what is going on with Is not any other vegetable out there? Yeah, they put corn into everything. So, those are the things to be careful about, guys. Sugar, for one. Just looking to make sure you change up your diet. That is going to make the hugest difference in terms of your sexual health. What goes in is going to show up. You are what you eat. 75% of your body is what you eat and what you do. The other 25% is your genetics. So you have a great level of control over your body. No matter what I eat, I'm probably not going to get to 6'10". So I'm not going. If I eat the wrong things, I can go sideways and 6'10". But yeah, there's some things that are not going to change, but you can change it with what you eat, what you drink, etc. So there we go, guys. We're coming up on half an hour here. If you have any more questions, go ahead and throw it into the comment section. This continues to happen where it's like, hey, I say that, and then right before I sign off, a great question comes in. So if you have one, go ahead, hit me up, let me know. In the meantime, if you haven't done so already, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tomorrow, let me get that title. Tomorrow, uh, carnivore diet ruined his sex life. Yeah, that has happened. Um, so yeah, uh, yeah. Good point. Soy is as big as corn in terms of production, and it's subsidized. Oh yeah, they're going to make sure you get all the not good food for you. I'm not sure. You know, I'm not a huge conspiracy theory person, but oh shoot.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right. I think we're back. Okay. Hmm. All right. So, I'm not a huge conspiracy theory person, but I do understand that for whatever reason, the United States government, the food industry, they're all conspiring to make you as not unhealthy as possible. It is our tax dollars are paying for it. Is really weird what they're doing. So yeah, there we have it, guys. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be talking about the carnivore diet, some things you need to know about eating meat. Shout out to everybody who joined in with the great questions. Oh, and we got another one. Uh-huh. How about the herb that has horny goat weed, 750 milligrams, and maca 150? Hmm. Yeah, both of those work. Both of those will work. Really quick point of order in terms of supplements, guys. Yeah, you need to have your supplement game up just because they are. As I mentioned before, our food doesn't have the level of nutrient density. So if you're trying to get specifically to something in terms of your health, ashwagandha, maca, goodwood, obviously, all of these products are going to help. Hmm. And Fred made want to make sure we understood that big pharma is also a part of this. So yeah, we got the pharmaceutical industrial complex and the food industrial complex and the war industrial complex. So, yeah, they just coming for us. So for all the guys who want to stay healthy, subscribe to the channel. Join us at Goodwood University. Make sure you get your supplementation game up. I'll be back tomorrow to answer questions and to break down what you need to know about the carnivore diet. So until then, this is Brian, aka Uncle B, saying get your game up and go hard. Peace out.